right, welcome back. Let's look at 4. We're looking at percent of change, and this one's interesting to me. Now notice when I have change is always going to be the difference of something, and for difference I subtract. And it's going to be expressed as a ratio. So remember, a ratio is something over something else. So when I talk about percent of change, I'm going to end up finding the difference, that's this amount here in parentheses. The difference of the change, I'm going to take my newest amount and subtract my original amount. And then I'm going to divide this difference by the original amount. And then I have to multiply it by 100 because it's expressed as a percent, and a percent is 100. Let's look at just doing a quick example. If I want to find the percent of change, I have a skirt, okay, this skirt that I've been eyeing, and it has decreased in price. It was $32.95, and it has decreased to $28.95. Notice that this amount is what it started as. This is my original. This is what it is now. And notice that the price went down, it decreased. So I want to find the percent of the decrease. A decrease is a change. Any change can be positive or negative, okay? So I could have increase, I could have decrease. Here the price went down, so it's a percent of decrease. And what I'm going to end up doing is plugging this in. So notice that my formula is N2 minus N1 over N1 times 100, because I want to find percent. Now if I plug in, let's call N1 my blue here. So I have $32.95. That's going to go here where I have N1. So, and my N2, my new price, is my $28.95 minus $32.95 over which one? Oh, the original, the $32.95. And I'm going to multiply that by 100 once I find it. Hopefully, you can recognize pretty quickly that $28.95 minus $32.95 is going to be 4. But because my 32 is bigger, it's going to be a negative 4. Whoa! All right, negative 4 divided by $32.95. And this whole thing times 100. Remember, you got to solve this part first before multiplying by 100. All right, if I plug this part into my calculator now, 4 divided by $32.95. Don't forget your negative sign, guys. This is negative. You're going to get negative 0.12 times 100, or negative 12%. Your negative tells you that this is a percent of decrease. Anytime you get a percent of decrease, you should have a negative percent. Similarly, if I had a percent of increase, this would be a positive percent. Let's look at one of those now. Let's say that I had the price of a sweater. My sweater originally cost $24.49, but they were in really high demand, and the store realized they could get more for the sweater, so they started charging $29.99 after it had been out for a couple weeks. So how would I find the percent of increase? Well, it's the same formula. Remember that I have this N2 minus N1 over N1 times 100. So the trick now is to recognize which one's N2 and N1. Well, N1 is always my original price. I might want to make a note of that. N1 is my original price. N2 is always the latest price, whether it's higher or lower. So if N1 is the original price, if I'm talking about my sweater here, this is my N1, and this is my latest price. This is N2. So I'm going to end up plugging those in. $29.99 minus $24.99 over my $24.99. And because I want to express this as a percent, I'm going to multiply by 100. All right, $29.99 minus $24.99. Oh, that should be 49. Oops. Okay, this should be a difference of about $5.50 divided by 24.49 times 100. And if I plug 5.5 divided by 24.49 into my calculator, what do you get? Hopefully you got about, remember we're going to round to the pennies place, or the hundredths place, sorry, hundredths. So I should get 0.18 times 100, which is about, remember if I multiply by 100, my decimal just moves 2 places, right? So this is about 18%. This means, and notice that it's positive. Because it's positive, it is an 18% increase. All right, let's look at this one. In 1990, there were 1,330 registered alpacas in the United States. By the summer of 2000, there were 29,856 registered alpacas. For those of you who don't know, an alpaca is kind of like a llama. All right, I want to know what the percentage of change is, and I want to know if it's an increase or a decrease, so it should either be positive or negative. I'd like you to do this one on your own. Pause me, and let's check your work when we're done. All right, let's look at identifying which variable you chose as N1. N1 is my original number, so I'm going to look back at the beginning of my time, so I have 1990. So my N1 is going to be the 1990 number, where I have 1,330. And then my N2 is going to be the latest one, the one in 2000, where I have 29,856. Hopefully you can see really quickly. This is going to be a what? A percent of increase. Okay, my formula says N2 minus N1 over N1 times 100. So I'm going to plug these in. I'm going to take my 29,856 minus 1,330, and I'm going to divide that by which one? The original number. Good. Which one is that? Good, 1,330. I'm then going to multiply this whole thing by 100 when I'm done. And what do I get here? Well, if I plug this into my handy-dandy calculator, I should have a difference of about 28,526. And I'm dividing that by 1,330, multiplying that by 100. And what am I going to end up getting? I'm going to get 21.448 times 100. Whoa, this is a crazy number. You probably saw this and went, what? So remember that when I am multiplying by 100, my decimal moves how many places? 2. Good. Which direction? Good, to my right. It's going to move here. So I'm going to end up with this crazy, wacky 2,144.8%. Holy cow, increase. That is a huge increase. That is a massive increase. All right, so this is telling me that the number of registered alpacas exploded in a decade by over 2,000%. All right, good job on this.